Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. So today we're out here in the winter and it's supposed to get really cold next couple days, but I need to get a handrail on these steps. And you can see I can go up and down them pretty easily, but Maggie's dad was over here the other day and he struggled with getting up these steps because there's no handrail. And because it's going to start being ice and snow, I figure everybody could use a handrail. Okay, I'm going to do some quick measurements. Here's where the other rail went. And that's right at 36. And then on a 45-degree angle, it's about 36 to the center of that bottom step. So what I think is I'll put a flange, come up from that step. And then to make it a little fancier, I think I'll try and put another rail in it. So it'll be a 2-rail handrail. I think that might look pretty cool. So yeah, that's whatever we build for one side, we'll just mirror image for the other side. But that's what I'm thinking I'm going to go with, is a 2-rail handrail, and we're going to make it out of plumbing pipe. All right, so excuse my artwork, but this is what I want to build. So basically I'll have, here's the deck, there's the rail for the porch, and then it's 3 steps down off the deck to the ground. So I'll put a floor flange on the porch rail, and then come out with a top rail, and then come down a little bit, about 18 inches what I figure, to another floor flange and have this middle rail, and then we'll have an upright going to that bottom step with 3 points of attachment. I think this should be pretty stable. Okay, this all came from Menards, and right now they've got their 15% off bag sale, and all this fit in one of those bags. So altogether with tax, it was $313 to build these 2 rails for this porch. But we saved $38.04 because of that bag sale. So that was pretty cool. All right, so I've got everything cleaned. Now I'm gonna just put one of these together, mock it up so I can get an exact measurement for my bottom horizontal rail. That might be too long there itself also. Okay, we'll stand this up, and I can already see that I'm about maybe a foot too tall, but I like the idea. Okay, so I want to put that about the middle of that step, and I'd rather that be down here. All right, so after putting this in place, we're going to do a little redesign. This piece of pipe right there, this was just too high. It was okay for me, but for a normal person, the top rail was a little bit high. And one of the reasons these measurements didn't work out, they actually on the bottom step, this was fine. But steps go up, I'm gonna guess at about a 30-degree angle, where these are 45s. So down at the base, at the steps, this was actually a good height. But because the 45-degree angle takes it higher than the 30-degree steps go, it ends up, what is about 4 inches here ends up about 10 inches at the other end. All right, we're back. And these 45-degree elbows were causing me problems because obviously that's fixed at 45 degrees and those steps come up closer to 30. And so what I figured out was if I use 2 90s, I can make that any angle I want. I can have it at 45 or I can have it closer to 30. So I'm gonna do that, which just requires a few changes to it. The other thing that I had was that it was too tall. So I've got these, which are 18-inch pipes for the upright, and I'm gonna cut this off and make it 12 inches. This is an 18-inch piece of 1.25 inch black pipe, and I'm gonna cut it to 12 inches. The way this pipe vise works is you put the pipe where you want it, stick it out about there, and then this clamp goes down, which locks onto that. You just tighten the part up. I'm gonna slide that out a little bit more just to give me plenty of room for that cutter. and the threader. And then with that locked down, it's not going anywhere. Now, when I was doing this at the hardware store, this was a big motor that sat here with a 3-jaw clamp, and there were pipes that came out of it, and you just flip the motor on, which actually the switch is on this side. This would lock up on that pipe, and it would cut these things in just like a minute. The manual method will take a little bit longer, but you're not going to pull that big motor around to different jobs, which is why Maggie's uncle had this vise. My first actual job was threading pipe in that hardware store. And something about it, it wasn't mindless, but it wasn't real technical either. But it was actually really a fun job. Of course, I was about 12. Wasn't allowed to wait on customers, but I could cut gas pipe for them. My grandpa tried to go to jail today. And here it goes. So that wheel cut that off pretty quick. Like I said, this vise sure made it handy. Now then, what I'm going to do, I need to get some oil and obviously an oil drip tray, and I'll thread this piece. There's the cut. Now, one of the things that I'm not going to do, since I'm just using this for a handrail, but especially on water pipe, we had a big reamer that would go in there and get rid of that inside edge that we put with that cutter. But I don't have to worry about that today. And on this one, I'm kind of liking that we've got this giant handle. And our oil change tray will catch any of the shavings, as well as all the oil that we drop out there. Now, I could have just went to the store and bought probably some 12-inch nipples, but since I've got this threader and cutter and vise, I figured I'd just go ahead and do it manually, save me a trip. When my grandfather taught me to do this, of course with the machine, but he didn't want you to be stingy with the oil. And what we would do is the oil would run out through the chips, and then at the bottom of that was a filter, and it went right back through and recycled it. So I worked at that hardware store on and off for 10 years at least, and I don't think we ever added oil to that setup. It was very efficient. All right, well, that was kind of fun and kind of nostalgic for me, but honestly, the amount of time I took to thread those manually, you can just buy 12-inch pieces at the store, save you some time. All right, let's get this put together the way I envision it now, and then we can get it painted up and get it installed. Okay, so now, and I just guesstimated, but I think that's coming out close to the angle of the steps, and it's pretty close to that one. And so that upright is now finished. All we have to do now is stick the arm on it, and we'll have a complete handrail. Alrighty, and this will be the top handrail, and we've got to make a second one for the one that's in the middle. And that's just decorative, and it makes a third point of attachment, is why I added those on there. Screw around one more time, if I can. It'll get tough. Okay, chop it a little closer. So remember, we need this to go straight up. Okay, I think that's it. Then this has to go right there, but we need a little tighter down. I'd say one more turn around. Right there, ought to do it. Okay, so now we've got our second upright, and that's for the right-hand side of the porch. Man, this pipe ice makes it super sweet putting this stuff together. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So this will be the left side of the steps, and that will be the right side of the steps. So now all we need is 4 of the rails. I already got 1 made, so 3 more. Okay, so we just need to put this on and tighten it all up. Okay, so without threading these in, I think I can hold them and see how it's going to go. So if that's threaded in, be about right there. And that will be right there. That'll actually work well. Okay, that's as good a test fit as it takes. And I measured these, but until you actually see them, it's hard to tell what you got. I think that would line up better than that. Well, it's not. Okay, it's because our T down there is not pointed the right way, would be my guess. Half the fun of making this stuff is figuring these little things out. So my T's going that way. I just need to back this one past here. There we go. And I didn't care which one moved, but one of them had to. But that table worked out pretty well for getting those done. So now, literally, all I got to do is spray paint these, let them dry, and get them installed. Okay, so I'm going to use this Rust-Oleum hammered paint and primer in 1. It's dark bronze. And it needs to be painted because it's winter out there. And I want to install these today. Okay, well, I'll get back with you when I've got these painted. I'm going to put hopefully 2 or 3 coats on them and then get them put up. Okay, So let's see what we got. So all I need to do is make sure that pipe is straight up and down. And we'll put it like that, and then I'll move the other one up. Put it in place. Okay, that's level. Perfect. I'll get the rest of it. Thank you.
Oh, that's really nice. Oh, wow. Icy.
Yeah, the steps are icy. It's 18 degrees out here, and it was snowing all night, spitting snow. And then the wind was real heavy. Cool. And then we'll do the mirror of it on the other side, and that'll complete the job. I'm glad I got rid of that idea to go 45, because I don't know what angle that is, but it's not 45. And it was also totally adjustable by having these two elbows here and then the elbow coming out of the T there. And it didn't matter on the flanges. So, yep, a little redesign, but it worked. We'll get a quick shot of this thing completely up both sides of it. And other than that, that'll be the video. I grabbed the right exact number of screws. Couldn't do that again. And last one. All right. Well, that's not going nowhere. All right, so there's our 1¼ inch handrails that we made out of black pipe. And these handrails, I think they came out really good. So thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. And we always encourage you to subscribe. And have a great day and be safe.